Some drink while others live. Some taste while others embrace. When you can't get to the vineyard, bring the vineyard home to you. Bell Navis.
Hey Groove listeners, this is your co-host Shantini R.E. We Love Rare Grooves is the premier entertainment music podcast show. We feature real artists and their music plays like the never-ending soundtracks in our lives. We have interviewed such artists like musical legends Dionne Warwick, Stanley Clarke, Billy Davis and Marilyn McCoo, and so many more. Tune in to We Love Rare Grooves Tuesday evenings, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Subscribe to our
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another great edition of We Love Rare Grooves, coming to you live from the Tiny Room. That's right, the Tiny Room Studios here in Inglewood, California. I'm your host, C. Mose, as we do it every Tuesday night, bringing you the magic of the music and the music of the magic, only as we do here on We Love Rare Grooves, as we're celebrating 10-year milestone here on We Love Rare Grooves. I want to thank the Tiny Room and our listening audience all over the globe to continue to support our project as we keep the music going here. But as I say, every Tuesday, I can't do this without my great cast and crew. And I always like to start off with the DJ, because it's the DJ in the house, and we have the DJ video. I like to call him a videologist, because he plays the best videos when he DJing. I mean, he finds songs that I never knew had videos to them.
That'll be me.
That's right, so-called DJ Reg. And DJ Reg is in the house with us. What's going on, my good man?
What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you, my good brother.
It's a good day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right?
Hey, we blessed to be here. We have great guests, great audience,
right.
Great studio. We just blessed.
Great vibes.
Great vibes. Great Bell Navis.
Yes.
Somebody's always carrying the Bell Navis spirit over there as I swing it over to the music architect. He's their concierge of the show.
And a world-winning, book.
Oh, that's right. He's an author.
That's what you got to have a phony French accent. I'm an author, you see?
Robert.
But I'm pretty excited tonight. We got a real blues man, and I changed. If you look at our normal painting out front, it's a little R&B. It's what we do, a little Motown. But tonight it's all blues. But to put this brother in a category, it would be tough. He's just a music man. He's done R&B, he's done albums, he's done blues, and he's from Jackson, Mississippi.
Hey,
ain't nothing like Jackson.
Absolutely good.
Got me a Jackson woman, don't I?
There you go.
There you go.
Plus my folks, my folks are from Sumter County in Alabama. You right?
No, I thought they was from Cornbread, Mississippi.
No, Cornbread, Alabama. Okay, and actually flying to Jackson and go straight across into Sumter County. They're from a town called Geiger, Alabama. They had a population of 400 when I was a kid.
Wow.
Now it's down to 80.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's part of what they call the Black Belt. And so we got a real star tonight.
That's what
Real
we're going to
star.
do.
There you go.
We're getting into the blues tonight.
Yeah.
It's all about the blues.
The blues in American form. Okay?
Right. How we do it here, because Groove listeners, check it out. This is I want to say it's a special edition, because this is kind of the first time to help us celebrate the decade of soulful tunes and unforgettable music. We want to honor what we say one of our true legends tonight. He's an award-winning guitarist, singer, songwriter, whose distinctive style has a rich lineage of American blues music. He's often hailed as one of the most remarkable champion of keeping blues music going today. His career has spanned over 4 decades, but his talents extend and beyond his own performance. He's a producer, arranger, songwriter. He's lent his skills to a lot of well-renowned artists such as The Whispers, Karen White, Sherelle,
Nice.
Evelyn Champagne King, and many more. And he even earned him a Grammy nomination for the collaboration he did with the group Black Aura. Is that it? Did I say it right?
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Not so loud,
But Zach,
man. Not so loud.
I got close. I had to get it. I had to get that right.
We got to back you off that mic a little bit. You're getting too excited.
But today he continues on as nationally and internationally touring, serving as ambassador for the great form of blues music. His experience is like no other when you see him in concert. I mean, he brings the audience down. I had the pleasure of last night just going, checking him out, impromptu, kicking it on that axe, man. I was so pleasantly grateful and humbled to be in the audience last night with some other great musicians. But without further ado, let's welcome to the Groove Studios the one and only, the blues king himself, Zac Harmon in the house.
What up?
Zac Harmon here in the Groove Studios, my young man. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good, man. I am absolutely wonderful.
Man, welcome to the Groove Studios, brought to you by Belmavis Wine and Spirits. Got to get that in. Retirement Choices of California is bringing us here for our 10th year celebration. Earlier, they had a great podcast, Retirement Choice, with the owner, JP. That's right, JP, Jerron Hamlet. And look for more things that's coming on with his podcast, coming on right before ours here at the Tiny Room Studios. But tonight, it's all about you, man. It's all about Zac Harmon's music and what you have brought to the music scene.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
So, as we say, young lady Shantini, our co-host, is not with us this evening, but she would ask this question, as we do all our guests. Did you come out of the womb kicking that axe, licking that axe, or however they say it in that blues world?
I think that I don't know if I came out with it, but it was sitting out there waiting on me when I came out.
It was sitting out there waiting?
Yeah, it was waiting on me.
Well, tell us how it was sitting out there waiting. What was the family like? Siblings? How was that music environment in Jackson, Mississippi?
Well, you know, I always tell folks that, you know, for what we call blues was like air in Mississippi. And if you breathe, you're gonna get it. And it wasn't something that we categorized as blues. It wasn't like, well, we're gonna play blues now. No, it was just what we played. As a matter of fact, there were two predominant styles when I was coming up. There was quartet gospel and blues, and they're first cousins.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, people always talk about Chicago blues, because Chicago's done a great job of marketing themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, and branding the blues, but blues is really Mississippi.
Absolutely.
But for the guys that were born in Chicago and that are playing blues today in Chicago, the difference between the blues, Chicago blues and Mississippi blues, is that quartet gospel. See, because we play with that, we play with that feel.
And when you do the blues coming out with that feel, tell me, what made you pick up the first instrument that you was belonged to in the household?
Well, there was, you know what, there was music all around my house. You know, there were pianos. My mother played piano. My father played the harp.
The harp?
You guys might call it a harmonica. My dad called it a harp. As a matter of fact, my dad also sold harps in his store. You know, one of his customers was Elmore James. You know, Sonny Boy Williamson was a customer of his. And so there was always music around, but I had an older sister that was just incredibly talented. And she played all the instruments, but she had a guitar. And she would keep the guitar in her room, and I would slip in her room and play the guitar. And I got caught one night, and all hell broke loose, and my mom had to go get me a guitar also.
Now, I heard the story, and it's similar to me. We grew up in the era where you had music class, right? Mm-hmm. And when you had music class, the first instrument that I had was a violin. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What was the first instrument that you came in contact with?
Well, see, we had the pianos there. Mm-hmm. My mother brought me a little organ that I used to play, and but when I started school, she wanted me to formally be trained. So that first instrument at that point was violin. I think I was 8 years old. I started with the violin. That lasted for a few years, but it was kind of tough because you got that little case. You know what I'm saying? And me being a big guy, it was kind of the harassment that I was getting.
Wow. Right? I think that's why I put it down too. I can't remember for sure.
All right, well, everybody has their favorites, and so mine came from, my blues favorite came from my parents, who were from, as I said, part of the Black Belt.
Yeah.
And the first song I remember, because I guess I was probably part of the Motown era.
Yeah.
Bad, Bad Whiskey.
Oh, man, come on
by
now.
Amos Milburn.
Come on now. Okay. Come on now. Come on.
So what you know about Amos and them crowds?
Well, now, let me just tell you this. When I was a kid, my parents were still young enough to have house parties.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, that's why that song really resonates with me, because I remember one particular house party, and they would make me stay in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I would be peeking through the door, I have it cracked a little bit, and I'm peeping. And one of my dad's friends, I'll never forget him, his name was Dr. Williams. And we had this, you know how they used to have the wooden stereos back then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was putting on a record, and it was Bad, Bad Whiskey. And he put the record on, and when it came on, that Bad, Bad Whiskey, I saw him back up and hit.
Lose my happy home.
Yeah, he backed up and hit a step like that, and I was like, whoa. Is that Dr. Williams?
And what I probably loved about the blues is the storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
That went around that, That's the reason why I hear somebody say, well, somebody invented the blues. Nobody invented the blues, okay?
No.
There's somebody commercialized it, but misery was at home all the time and so many people. And then it was them relationship and them women. Plural possessive, them women's.
Yeah, well, people put labels on it. Marketing people put labels on it to sell it. But the truth of the matter is, it's straight from West Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up. I mean, since I've traveled and had a chance to meet other musicians from around the world, I realized that same Delta feel that we were, that was like the beginnings of the blues in America, existed in West Africa.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the blues came out of. You're talking about spiritual songs, spiritual music, work songs, field hollering, all those things that they define the music that came out of the Emancipation Proclamation.
Uh-huh. Life as it existed to them.
Yes.
Okay, that's really what it is. And so it was hard times sometimes.
Right.
It was good times and rollicking. That used to be one of my words for the blues, rollicking, good times. And it's heartbreak. There's always a heartbreak with
Well, we're creative people. Mm-hmm. And one of the expressions of our creativity is we kind of, I'm going to use a word, I don't know whether this word exists or not, but we emotionalize what's happening inside of us. Mm-hmm. You see it today in hip hop.
Yes.
The good and the bad.
That's
and the
right.
Ugly.
That's right. So blues is no different.
So what we find out about blues is when you're there you weren't in the Delta, but you're still in Mississippi. What was your next move that made you feel that now I can be this musician to carry that torch? Because I mean, we're talking about all the way back to Robert Johnson and keep going, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, let me just say this. See, my dad was the first registered black pharmacist in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
And during Jim Crow,
That's like high cotton time.
my dad was from the Mississippi Delta. I mean, he grew up sharecroppers, but he worked his butt off, and he got where he had his own store, his own pharmacy. He would he serviced the community because it was Jim Crow. So if you came to Jackson, Mississippi, if you were B.B. King, if you were Little Milton, if you were Albert King, Ike and Tina Turner, any of these people, and you wanted toiletries and things like that, you had to come to my father's store because that was in the area. And so all of these people became friends of my father. They called him Doc Harmon. And so I would get an opportunity to see B.B., Little Milton, and Bobby Rush, these guys. And that kind of influenced me because they were like close up to me, And I remember the one time that I had two things happen to me that really kind of shaped my direction. The first thing was my sister was in an exchange program. She went to Tougaloo College, and it was an exchange program with Brown University.
In Rhode Island.
So she went to Brown University, and when she came back, she had all this music, all this stuff I had never heard before. And she started exposing me to all of this stuff, and I was like, man, yeah, I'm into this. I want to do this.
Who was some of the music that she had?
Oh man, she brought back. Even though John Lee Hooker was from Mississippi, at that time in the black community there, it's like his music wasn't played a lot.
Okay.
Because you had B.B. King and you had Little Milton and Albert King. It was their era. But she exposed some stuff to me with John Lee Hooker that I had never heard before. He did an album called Endless Boogie that was just
Endless Boogie.
And
Endless.
It really got me. And also she brought back Band of Gypsies, Jimi Hendrix.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With Buddy Miles on the drums.
That blew me away. Then she brought back Richie Havens. What was it? Is it that Little Darling? What is
You
the
got
name
me
of
on
that
that. You got me. That's our residence DJ. He'll bring it up for us. Richie Haven.
What was the Richie Havens song?
Here Comes the Sun.
Here Comes the Sun. There you go, man. There you go, man. And so that was like the first thing. But the second thing was Bobby Rush came to do a show in Jackson. He was performing at a club called the Checkmate.
Okay.
And before he was going to his sound check, he came to my father's store, and as they always did, he was like, "Doc, let me holler at you," and they would kind of go walk in the back somewhere.
Him and Bobby Rush, huh?
And so I overheard Bobby saying where he was playing, and he was going to his sound check. So I left, and I went to the club where he was doing his sound check because I wanted to see what a sound check was like. And so I peeked in the side door, and I could see him on stage, and he had this look, like it was kind of like the Chambers Brothers. He had the hat, he had the vest with all the frills and
Early 1970 look.
oh yeah. And he was
Busting
playing
out.
He was playing the guitar, and I was hooked there, and I was like, man, I want to be like that.
He said he wanted to be like Bobby Rush. But tell us this: what we're gonna listen? I'm gonna do it a little different because we always got to take you through a musical journey. But right now, this guy's been 4 decades putting music down, producing, writing, arranging, songwriting, and also his own performance. So I'm going to start off the other way. Do we have it? Okay, so you got some new music that hasn't even come out yet, and we're gonna kind of unveil it here, world release, because it's coming out in the summer, right?
That's right. It'll be out in a few months.
It'll be out in a
you
few.
heard
So
it first,
so you gonna
right
hear it
here.
first right here. His latest release that hasn't been released yet, but we're gonna give you a sample, and then we're gonna take you on that music journey that we go back 4 decades and bring it back. You know, we take you here, take you there with the music, because that's our secret sauce, right? So what we got there, DJ Red, you want to introduce that song? Who's on there with you? That's the one.
That song features Sue Ann Carwell,
Okay.
and it was features Sue Ann Carwell and arranged by my partner Christopher Troy.
Okay, and he'll join us in the next segment. So you want to go ahead and introduce that song, and then we're going to bring them back a couple of songs from the early days and talk about that blues music of Zac Harmon, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Jackson,
this is another one of those songs that was introduced to me by my sister,
Okay.
made famous by my man. Well, I should say my late man. What's his name, man?
You looking
Bobby
at me.
Womack.
Bobby Womack, because he looked at me. I was like, I was going down the list like, which Bobby Womack?
Out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Out of Cleveland. Now, why you got OHIO?
But I was about to say Cecil Womack because I knew Cecil better, but Bobby
The
Womack.
Womack brothers, who was married to Mary Wells.
Right, that's it. So
That's right. That's right.
That's what
Well,
she.
Cecil was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's the name of the song again is
That's the way I feel about ya.
That's the way I feel about Ja. Brought to you by Belnavis Wine and Spirits. We're coming to you live from the Tiny Room Studios. I'm C. Mose here on We Love Rare Grooves. DJ Reg, the consultant Rob Ray, and our guest, blues guitarist. That's right, Grammy nominated Zac Harmon in the studios. This is coming out in the summer, but we got it here first tonight on We Love Rare Grooves.
Love this song.
To get anything out of life, you gotta put up with the toils and strife. Now listen, you're pushing my love a little bit too far. I don't think you know how blessed you are. And your friend Annie Mae tell you all she sees. Did you ever think she was just trying to get close to me? Ooh, think it over. Think it over, girl. Yeah, yeah. Just think it over. Oh, that's the way I feel about you. Oh, Lord. That's the way I feel about you, baby. That's the way. trouble on the lake. Lord, the river water rising, and I hear there's trouble on the lake. Lord, I still can't find my baby, and my heart's about to break. Coffee in the morning, just to start your day. Distant memories of a love that won't go away. Feeling kinda lonely in your everyday routine, going through the motions when you need someone who understands. You need the comfort of a man. Somebody done turned the gas on, 'cause it's hot up in here. Hattie Mae, woman, don't you know I'm in love with you? Yes, I am now. With you. Yes, I am now. Hattie Mae, woman, don't you know I'm in love with you? Yes, I am now. With you. Yes, I am now. Hattie Mae, woman, why can't you be true? Hattie Mae, woman, sit right down. Let's talk a while. Sit down now. Talk a while. Sit right down now. Hattie Mae, woman, sit right down. Let's talk a while. Sit down now. Talk a while. Sit right down now. Now, Hattie Mae, I just wanna see you smile. When I was a boy, I knew a man. Folks said he was a real blues man. He taught me how to play the blues. He said, you ain't gonna make no money, but this is what you gotta do. Keep the blues alive. Just keep the blues alive. Whatever you gotta do to survive, just keep the blues alive. I I can't help what I like. I play the blues all night. You got your music and I got mine. I just wanna play the blues all the time. Just keep the blues alive. Just keep the blues alive. Whatever you gotta do to survive, just keep the blues alive. Come on now. Oh. Yeah.
That's right, the Oxnard Jazz Festival coming up September 13th through the 15th here at the Oxnard Jazz Festival in Oxnard, California. It's a wonderful evening. It's a two-day affair. As you can see, Loose Ends is going to be part of the show this year. Also, they'll have Lynn Lawrence, Mike Phillips coming in. They got some of the latest artists that will also be coming in. Mindy Abar will be part of the line. Abar. She'll be part of the lineup also, so get your tickets at Oxnard Jazz Festival. That's oxnardjazzfestival.com. It's a great time, all-day festival, great look over the beach. I mean, we had a great time last year. We're looking forward to this year and more artists to be named. So go to oxnardjazzfestival.com. Welcome back to We Love Rare Grooves here in the Tiny Room Studios, Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, C. Mose, and we got our guest in the night. Heard that blues, boy. You're killing it on that axe, man. In the early days when you first came, well, I won't say first, but when you made that decision to say, now it's time for me to carry the blues music on. And so we started out with Zac Harmon. Your first release was Stormin' in Mississippi?
Yes. Well, it was actually, it was on a CD entitled Live at Babe and Ricky's Inn.
And were you live at Ricky's?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Babe and Ricky's Inn used to be the blues club in LA.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to hear real blues,
right,
that was the club that you went to.
Okay. Did you know about that, Jimmy G? Did you know about that club? Okay.
You sure about that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Now, the thing about it is, though, my journey started before that because I actually came to LA with the idea of being the next Albert King.
Okay.
But the problem with that was the blues genre was too small for the companies in LA. So everybody that I approached told me that was too small of a market. Mm-hmm. That they were, it was a boutique. That's what they said. It was a boutique market. So, but they liked what I was doing. They liked my playing and so forth. You know, so I made some real good connections, and you know, I ended up that we'll talk about a little later, becoming a record producer.
Arranger, songwriter,
all of that, you know, which I really didn't understand the whole concept of that when I got here. That's something I had to learn about when I got here.
So somebody gave you some advice.
Oh, absolutely.
And that advice was?
Well, I had a friend who became a friend, and I call him a friend to this day,
Mm-hmm.
at Solar Records. His name was Ray Harris.
Okay.
And Ray told me, he said, "Listen, I don't want to burst your bubble, but why are you trying to be an artist? You need to be a producer. You need to be a writer." So he and Chuck Jackson kind of
I remember the name.
leaned on me a little bit, and so I shifted my focus to writing and producing.
So tell me what you wrote.
And who'd you produce?
Well, I actually started doing some things with a group called the band AKA. That was my real first exposure to actually recording something that was going to be released that I wrote.
The band AKA.
The band AKA.
Oh, we got him on that one. I had to read way down in the groove vault.
That was a band that featured Sidney Justin, who's the lead singer for the Miracles today,
Oh, okay.
as the lead singer. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him, man. I met him on the Soul Train cruise. Yeah, he nice guy.
Yeah.
Sydney was, and he was good. He was good.
Oh, yeah.
He was good.
So when you left Jackson, you came straight here to L.A., right?
Man, listen.
On the Greyhound?
He's leaving.
I'm just asking.
No,
Leaving.
let me tell you. The way the story went was my father, when I finished college, my father kind of didn't say much to me while I was in school. I could take as long as I wanted to finish school. He just said, you got to finish school. So I could play with different groups. So I used to take semesters off from school to go on tour with people. I played with Dorothy Moore.
Okay.
I played with ZZ Hill.
Okay.
All of
Nice.
the blues guys, you
Right.
know, I played with. And so when I finally graduated, my father said, well, okay, so now what are you going to do? And I said, I had just gotten a gig with a group called the Controllers. That's right. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
Right.
And I was excited because I'm getting ready to play with the Controllers, so that's like a little bit of a step up.
Right.
You know? And so my dad was like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to play music. Oh, he said, no, well, that's good, but you're not going to play music here because the music business is not in Mississippi.
Okay.
So if you're going to play music, you're going to go to New York or you're going to go to Los Angeles. You make your choice.
My
And so-
dad used to call it fish where the fish are.
That's right. So I actually went up to Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, that's
That-
Pennsylvania,
But,
next to me.
but that didn't work out too well because I went up there in January.
Ooh, that a little cold.
And I was a country boy. I didn't know nothing about that kind of stuff, you know. So I came back.
Who did you get introduced to when you went to Philly? Was
Well,
it
man, the first person I met
Damn,
was Dexter Wansell.
Dexter Wansell, my man, Life on Mars.
And so that's right. And so Dexter took me down. He was the A&R director at Philly International. He took
Right.
me down to Philly International, introduced me to Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff and all of those folks, Karen Briggs, who writes
Right.
with
Oh,
him.
okay.
Cynthia
Wow.
Biggs. Cynthia Biggs.
Cynthia Biggs.
Yeah, and so, you know, I was excited about the possibility of being there, but that cold weather, man, I was like, I don't know, maybe I should give LA a try. So I went back home, and I told my dad, I said, I'm going to go to LA, so he gave me $300. He gave me $300.
What year was that?
This was 1980.
Well, that's good money. That was a good piece of change then.
Beginning of 1980.
That's a good
But-
piece
and
of
so,
change.
so he gave me $300. At that time, I had a Datsun B210.
Ooh,
He
yeah.
had the V210.
It was already over 10 years old. Okay?
But it run.
So I would drive for 500 miles, get out and tinker on it for a little bit, drive for another 500 miles. And that is how I came to LA.
Well, at least you wasn't on a Greyhound.
Hey, but listen, I'm going to tell you something. The biggest and funniest thing about that whole trip was coming through Arizona, because now we're in July now.
It's hot.
Oh,
Coming
man.
through Arizona, so I didn't know nothing about that, you know. And so I had a friend that actually was helping me. His name is Bruce Howard. He's actually Bobby Rush's drummer today. And so we got on the it was rush hour when we got to Phoenix. So we are coming into the city. It's about, I don't know, 115 degrees.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in my B210, I didn't have no air
No
conditioning.
air.
Okay. So
You were
when we
suffocating.
entered the city, we were fully dressed. By the time we were leaving, we were in our underwear.
I can imagine.
He
that
sweated it
right
all
there.
out. He sweated it all out.
And if you went to Phoenix, you know.
So speaking of that, we're gonna transition it into our next segment of music, and I think we went in the Groove Vault tonight to pull out some of the early music that you were a songwriter, producer, and we're gonna bring up your boy up here that y'all kind of did this together. And it's funny that you came out here to play the blues, and someone gave you the recommendation or the knowledge to say, man, it's another direction you can go in.
Yeah.
And now you got a story to tell, music to share, and we think we came up with some of the artists that you work with in some of the music as we do here on We Love Rare Grooves. Please tune in to our YouTube channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, because you can have it here on We Love Rare Grooves. We give you the music that you like, the music that you love. Yes?
And we are a decade in. Before
Music
everybody
education.
got cool and had a podcast, it was us.
That's
Okay?
true. We were the pioneers of doing
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
we thought we would be doing for just a couple of months.
I just came to Los Angeles and met Clifton on a hunch. It was a bad hunch, but we still stayed together for about 10 years.
That is true. Don't forget about DJ DeVoe, Greg
Yeah.
Sneed, Lisa DeVoe, all here in the
Oh, yeah.
early days
Yeah.
of We Love Rare Grooves.
And I
So-
came along.
Right, you was hanging. See, that is right. I remember
and,
seeing
Larry-
you was here longer than I thought you were. You know that?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't have a
you-
choice.
He kind of kept moving and
okay.
giving. He could do videos. Hey, but what we got coming up, man? This is one you talked about. This was, I think this did well in the UK. The band, AKA If You Want to Know. Right? Remember that?
Yeah,
Working with those
absolutely.
guys? Come on, man. Let's go and show them what we know. Stay tuned to We Love Rare Grooves, coming from the Tiny Room Studios here in Inglewood, California. I'm your host, C. Moses. We do with our guests, Zac Harmon. DJ Reg is in the house. Robert A., the consultant. Brought to you by Bell Navis Wine and Spirits and Retirement Choices of California.
happiness, I think about you. When I think about joy, I think about you. I get so excited when I think about you. Ever since I met you, I just can't forget you. You really got a hold on me. The way miles apart, you're the keeper of my heart. I need you close to me. Girl, don't you know? I think I told you in 1,000 letters how much I miss your kissing and your warm embracing. It's time to show how much my loving really matters. Oh, baby, what you gonna do? I'm waiting on you. Don't hesitate, girl, don't procrastinate. Baby, don't make me wait on your love. Please don't be late, girl. I don't hesitate. Baby, don't make me wait on your love. You would not believe it if I said I deeply. My body's longing for your touch. Oh yeah, I guess it's the distance that makes my heart go fonder. 'Cause baby, my heart beats you. Girl, don't you know? I think I told you in 1,000 letters how much I miss your kissing and your warm embraces. It's time to show how much my loving really matters. Baby, what you gonna do? I'm waiting on you.
Alex back at you.
I hope you don't mind my directness with you. I've got to say what's on my mind. And I'm so glad you feel the way you do. So I can get down to giving you what you need right now. Baby, right now.
Medical doctor can cure. Created by God cannot be destroyed by man. Black Uhura.
Yes, I.
Drunk attack. Oh, now I am Black Uhura. Hey!
People of the world, won't you listen? Open up your eyes, see what you're missing. See somebody over there, people starving everywhere, and babies dying. Oh, oh, the world don't seem to care. Some are not aware, and so I'm crying. Oh, oh, we need one love all over the world. Shine from above.
side of that, but they will be in Atlanta, Georgia. That's right, Atlanta, Georgia, on May 30th at the Essence venue in Atlanta. Get your tickets. It's going to be a hot show. Funk the Soul. FunkTheSoul.com. Get your tickets today. It's going to be an after party brought to you by Big Dreams Productions, a friend of mine out of Atlanta, for Loose Ends. As we continue the show here on We Love Rare Grooves, welcome back with our great guest tonight, one and only Grammy nominated Zac Harmon, blues guitarist. And we went back. Did we go back in the groove graveyard tonight for you?
Yes, we did. I'll answer for him.
So we also want to introduce now your partner in crime.
Absolutely. A young man that I met in I think it was 86, 87, fresh off the boat from Houston, Texas. The one and only Mr. Christopher Troy.
Mr. Troy, welcome to the Groove Studios, my good man.
I didn't know
I'm glad you
they
still refer to me as a young man.
I didn't know they had a whole lot of water in boats in Houston. I didn't know.
We got some photos, I think, from back in that time. I don't know if you want any of those photos. You got a few of those photos there, my boy Corey. Kevy Cav, what's going on? We got a new engineer, Kevy Cav, in the house.
Kevy Cav.
So we had some photos that we had found also, just like we do the music. Now that was you and I don't know who.
That's the Whispers.
That's the Whispers. They had hair then, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Apple hats. That's right. We got some more photos. Who we got here?
That's Terry Lewis and Karen White.
Nice. All right, man. Okay.
Weren't they married?
Christopher doing the cheesing.
Yeah, hey, you still got your wig there, baby.
My wig, yeah, and my teeth. I got my wig and my teeth.
And his
teeth.
Yeah.
You got any more that look like you got a curl going on too? That's it? Okay. All right. We had some more we were looking at. So you guys collaborated on a lot of songs, man, that we just found. And we started off with Band of
Yeah. Well, in actuality, the way it worked out was in making my transition from trying to be an artist to being a producer. I had a manager. His name is David Cook, and David had found this band. He'd got this singing group from of putting on the hits. And so he asked me if I would go up to Pasadena with him and take a look at him and give him my opinion. So I went up, looked at him. I thought they were good, but now, putting on the hits, they were pantomiming. They weren't actually singing. So he asked me, he says, can these guys really sing? And so I thought that they had potential, but, they really needed a lot of work because they didn't come up in an era where you had these singing groups,
Yeah.
So I worked with them for about 2 years, actually, just kind of developing them and bringing them along. And during that process, I met Christopher doing a session together. And I knew right away, I was like, you know what, this guy here this guy's bad. This guy has a lot of things that I don't really have. What he does very easily, I have to work hard for. And the things that I do very easily, he works hard for. So I was like, man, this is gonna move us ahead of the game quickly. And that's when it started.
Yeah. It's a really interesting combination how Zac and I came together. We have a very similar background as far as our fathers go. Zac was saying that his father was the first registered pharmacist down there. My father was the first registered black veterinarian in Houston, Texas.
Oh,
in the
amazing.
state of Texas.
Okay.
So we related like that.
Yeah.
But the chemistry between me and Zac, very unique. It's like Oscar Madison and Felix Unger. It's like the odd couple.
Yeah, the yin and the yang.
It's the yin and the yang, and that's what makes it happen.
Yes.
Because he's rough around the edges. I'm a little bit more refined, but that combination got us some success. I appreciate him discovering me fresh off the boat.
Off the boat.
Yeah.
So did y'all work on the first collaboration with the band, AK?
Well, no. I think Chris was still in high school then.
Okay.
But our first, the first thing we actually worked on together was Troop.
Okay.
Was that the first thing, Chris?
I was their musical director on their first tour.
That's right.
You were?
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing, and the second thing was the Whispers.
Okay.
Now, funny story about the Whispers. Chris and I had written a song, and back in those days, you know, you had cassettes, you know. And so I actually don't know how they got a hold of this cassette that had our song on it. But one Saturday morning, there was this knock early in the morning on my door. And so I really, you know, I thought it was somebody trying to sell me something, you know, so I was really not very enthusiastic about answering the door. And I kind of answered it in that fashion. So I said, "Who is it?" He said, "This is Nicholas Caldwell from the Whispers."
Oh.
And I said, "Right," and walked away. And he knocked on the door again, and he said, "No, man, really, it's me, Nicholas Caldwell." So I opened the door up, and when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God, it is Nicholas Caldwell." So I asked him to come in. He sat down. He told me how much they loved the song. And he said, "Listen, we want you and your partner to produce this song." And that blew me away also, because this was the Whispers. This was a group that I idolized, you know? And they wanted us to produce them. I mean, we were capable producers, but we didn't have a track record. I mean, they had just come off a record with L.A. and Face producing, you know? They had Leon Silvers producing. And they're gonna ask us to produce, you know? So it was a real experience for us, because all of a sudden we were kind of thrust into the big league, and we had to grow up real fast.
With saying that, we looked at the Whisper, but then you got Evelyn Champagne King, Alexander O'Neal. So you got some artists that you really did some collaboration with, and I know some stories that go around there.
But the story that Zac needs to tell, or I'll tell it. When we were working with Troop, a very unique situation happened, because one of the choreographers with Troop was also a choreographer for Michael Jackson. So what ended up opening up the door for us is that, you know, Barry Lather, which was one of the choreographers, was playing warm-up for Michael, and it was one of the songs that we were doing with Troop. And Michael said, "Oh, who was that?" He said, "Well, that's some music from these guys I know. I'm working with them on their show." Troop. "Oh, well, who wrote that?" Well, pretty soon Barry Lather put us in touch with Michael Jackson's people. And what opened the door for us really was Michael signed us to ATV Publishing as writers.
Wow.
That's when he had bought the publishing company that owned the Beatles songs, but he wanted fresh writers so he could have new catalog. Because one thing he did learn from, you know, working with Paul McCartney was that it's important to have current publishing as well as, you know, classic songs.
Yeah.
That opened the door for us, wide open. So
Yeah, the phone started ringing off the hook at that point. But you know, also I have to say that, you know, the music that we were doing at that time was really in there, you know, because we, you know, they used to have cattle calls, and all of the big record companies, and this one particular cattle call that we were called on was at Warner Brothers. And when they would have a cattle call, they would bring in they call all the publishing companies, all the production companies. So it's basically saying, send your best.
yeah.
Okay? So they would have, it normally was in a conference room, and you'd have this big, long table, and they'd bring you in, they'd play your music, And either they would say, let's set up a follow-up meeting, or let's, thank you.
But no thanks.
That's a business world. They call that
so
an
this
RFP, right?
One particular cattle call was with Warner Brothers, and Chris and I were sitting at the end of the table, and on the other end of the table, Benny Medina was sitting there, and he had his assistant there, and they put our music in, they started playing our music. Well, right after the music started playing, Quincy Jones walks in. So he greets Quincy. Then this other guy, a producer friend of ours actually, but he didn't know we were in there at the time, he walked in and started talking to Benny. And I look at Chris and I go, oh man, I know we ain't gonna get nothing follow up because he ain't even listening to our music, Right. And all of a sudden, Quincy turns around and he says, y'all ain't from here, huh? He said, y'all from down south, huh? And we were like, yeah. And so Quincy turns to Benny and says, these guys are nice. And the next thing you know, we got called back for another meeting. And in that meeting, that's where we met Terry Lewis and Karen White.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Who would have thought, right?
Yes.
So during all this time, do you like producing more, or do you like being out in the audience as being an artist, or do you like the producing and arranging the back?
Man, I got to tell you, it's kind of like having sex. You ask me what position I like, Okay.
As long as it's a position.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he said, long as it's a position, right? Long as I'm getting something, I can be the engineer, I can be the arranger, the songwriter, I can be up on stage.
And by the way, this is not a family show.
Man, so you guys ended up doing more collaborations after that. I mean, Evelyn Champagne King, and then the reggae group Black
Uhuru. Yes,
right.
yes.
Black
Uhuru was our Grammy nomination for Best Reggae Song in that year. And
Nice.
it's interesting, it just shows you a certain scope
Of your music.
the music.
Right.
Because, we've gone from the blues to, dance to the hip hop to the New Jack Swing.
Yes.
And then we had, a couple of reggae artists that we ended up working with, which was great.
What was the other artist? I didn't.
It was Louis Rankin.
Louis Rankin.
Louis Rankin, okay.
And Louis Rankin was the guy, and what was that movie?
It was a Steven
Belly.
Seagal movie
Belly.
called.
Belly.
No, that was the hip hop movie. Belly was the hip hop.
Yeah,
movie.
and Louis Rankin played the
Marked for Death, I think it was.
the drug lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the girl dropped down and cut his throat.
Okay, that's a lot of. I had that memory right there. And
But anyway, listen. The funny thing about working with the Black Uhuru was that these guys were for real Rastas. There was no fake in this. They were Rastafarian.
From the hills.
And the things that they did, was from the heart. And so when we first met them, the label put us all together, a little social thing, for us to meet them. And I met him, and then Chris comes over to me, and he says, "Man, these dudes are really heavy, man. This guy told me his name is God." His name was actually Garth. But in the Jamaican patois, it sounded like he was saying God.
He named God.
Yeah.
Man, what a musical genre span that you guys have had, and what's keeping you guys going today, though?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of respect for one another. You can't be in a partnership. It's like a marriage. What makes a marriage work? You have to have mutual respect for each other. You have to have the love, but you have to understand what that person brings to make you whole. And I think it's been 38 years that we've been working with each other.
Yeah.
I can tell by your oldest son, because he was just born when
Wow.
I met Zach.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was a newborn.
So, what's your guys' most proudest accomplishment?
I really
Besides
could not.
being together
I
like
could
two
not
old
say
ladies.
one thing because, see, Chris and I have done so many things together because we had a period of time when we were like the go-to guys to fix things.
Oh.
You know, I mean, we did a lot of television.
Yeah, we even had our own sitcom that we scored music for.
That's right.
For Paramount.
Okay.
And we did a lot of commercials. You know, if you guys remember the Coke commercials would always be the real thing, always
Right.
Coca-Cola.
That was us.
And we did a lot of commercials.
Jello Purple Grape with Bill Cosby.
But I tell you that the most crazy thing was there was a show called Sister Sister. I'm sure
Right,
you guys are
yeah.
familiar
I
with
worked
that.
in that show.
And
as the
and
warm-up
so
guy.
they had an episode
DJ.
where there was the girls wanted to go to a concert and see this rap artist by the name of Cold Dog.
That's right.
And so when they shot the episode, they did not temp. They didn't temp. They were dancing, and they didn't temp the dancing to real music. They were just dancing. So after they had shot it, they realized, oh my God, now we got to go back and we got to get music that's going to fit what they're dancing, and it has to fit certain things that Cold Dog was saying in the song because the dialogue was built around that things that he was saying in the song. So we had to back into it, you know?
Yeah.
Right. But that's what you guys was good at.
But you got to
producing.
realize that this is before Pro Tools was as active as it is now in the
That's
industry.
right.
That's true.
We
y'all.
were working with 2-inch reels and half-inch reels with a stopwatch and a calculator to look at the time code to say, okay, we got so many beats before, the actor that played the Father Tim would respond to the words that Cold Dog was saying. So we had to do the lyrics and, make it look right.
Okay.
Yeah, but that enabled us to work in Pro Tools seamlessly because the hard part was understanding how to do it without those tools. And when you get the tools that they have right now, it was much easier.
That's what I was going to ask you. Kind of one of the segments I was going to say how producing music then and to now, and that basically went to that segue.
Yeah. Listen, I got to tell you, the guys that, I had the privilege of, being able to be around producers like McKinley Jackson, and spent some time sessions that Leon Silvers was doing, and I have to say that era of producer, those guys were real producers because number one, musically you had to play, and you didn't. There was none of this plug and play stuff.
Right.
You either could play or you couldn't play. And you also had to understand vocals because you didn't have tuning then. You couldn't if somebody was singing flat, they were flat.
Okay. You couldn't fix them up at all.
You
could
couldn't fix them up.
No, not at all.
So that era of producer, Quincy and all of those guys. I mean, they were real producers, and that's what we learned from. So I would say you really had to be what you had to be then. Nowadays, it's so much plug and play. Chris and I did a song for the Eddie Murphy's Pluto Nash
Right.
movie, and so we were working with the composer, and I remember he had what was a new software then called Logic, and he was doing a drum track, and it was almost like shake and bake because he just kind of put a bunch of stuff in the bag and shook it up, and whatever came out, that was what it was. And I'm saying to myself, wow, this is not how it's supposed to go.
I got you.
Well, let me take you a different direction. I've been working on about the demise of the love song today, and I was just sharing that with Zach a little earlier. Tell me where's the love songs at today?
Well, first of all, the youth of today, they don't communicate the way we did.
Nope.
The emotion is kind of taken out of communication. It's almost sterilized. And also another part of that is, and I can remember talking to one of my sons, and I'm talking to him about, he was going to a party, one of his first big parties, and I'm trying to tell him, how to ask a young lady to dance and all of that, and he was like, Dad, we just dance. We don't dance. You don't ask a young lady to dance. The guys are dancing together and the girls are dancing together. We don't do that. And I'm like, what?
And ain't no more
believe that.
Ain't no more love songs or slow songs to grab somebody to dance to. When the next thing? Like, only thing you get now is a Frankie Beverly, Before I Let You Go, at a party.
Yeah.
You a
And they all
DJ,
know
when
it.
the last time you played a slow song?
Only play it online, man.
There you go.
I don't play them at parties, man.
Chris, give me your thoughts.
But you
Give
know
me your
something? With that song, the first single on Zach's new album, That's the Way I Feel About You, and a bottle of that wine that you guys
Bell
had,
Navis.
Bell Navis.
Put that on.
Put that on.
You got something
you got
going on.
a good time.
You got a good time. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Some Bell Navis.
Yes,
And that song.
I've had a glass and I'm having a good time.
that's right.
Hey, we can ready to go into a segment now that we call the Dusty of the Week, and this is what we call it Dusty because you go down in the crates. I got to get my, put that needle on the album. You hear the dust
Little
on
crackle.
it, or hear that little crackle, and then you got to go in the vault, and then we find that music. And now we want to, brought to you by,
Hear that crack.
there's
There
that
it is.
crack. There it is.
There
There's
it
that
is.
crack. Brought to you by Sweet Life Digital Magazine. That's right, Sweet Life Digital Magazine, bringing us the Dusty of the Week. And today, the Dusty is your boy, man. Come on, Elmo James.
Oh, yeah.
We found some Elmore James. That's right out. Songwriter, singer, guitarist, born in what Holmes County? Well, everything is Holmes County, Mississippi,
Holmes
right?
County.
Richland,
Yeah.
Richland, Holmes County.
Lexington, Durant, that's that area.
That's where he's born at. I have no idea. I've been down there with my beautiful wife to Jackson, but I don't know too much about it going on down there. And I know I gotta give some love. Your sister's in the house, right?
Yeah.
And also my sister-in-law. You both went to Tougaloo, and I put my hands out. Y'all both went to Ivy League schools from there, Brown and Yale University. So Patricia Ann Williams is a doctor here. She's in Auburn, Alabama now, and your sister's here in LA supporting you, Zach, for this. But proud of you guys coming from the little old town of Jackson and doing the Ivory and all the things that you've done. And also our boy here, Elmo James. So who got Elmo? You got it or they got it? You got Elmo?
I got it.
For the Dusty of the Week?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's go back. We going back to the Dusty 1961.
I roll and I tumble, I cried the whole night long. Yeah, I roll and I tumble, I cried the whole night long. I got up this morning feeling that something going on wrong. Well, now I want you to love me, baby. Please let me be. Yeah, let me be. Oh, please let me be. If you don't like my picture, please don't shake my tree.
There's a bunch of music here. Do that one more time, man. Woo!
get up in the morning, I believe I'll dust my blues.
They took my songs and got them all wrong. Then they called it rock and roll. Lots of stealing, dirty dealing, ripped right from my soul. Well, they keep on trying, but I'm testifying they can't make it real. 'Cause it's in my blood, the Mississippi mud. Now let me tell you how I feel. Long, long live the blues is here to stay. Long, long live the blues, they ain't gonna take it away.
Doctor said when I came in this world, I would please many girls. He said I got just what they need to bring them down to their knees. Let me, baby, put a hump in your back. Come on, let me, girl, put a hump in your back. Woo! I got a lot of action. I said down in Jackson. I said when I move, I get a chain reaction. Feel the heat, your body move. Come on, baby. Woo! Show me what you're gonna do. Put on some ribs, ice down the beer. The party's on and the coast is clear. Put on some beans, put on some blues. We're having a Mississippi barbecue. Want all the neighbors to tie up them dogs. We're gonna cook about half a hog. Throw on some ribs, play me some blues. We're gonna have a Mississippi barbecue. Fix me a drink. You know how we do. We're gonna have a Mississippi barbecue. Oh, oh, oh.
y'all feel that? Let me ask you one more time. Can you feel that? Well, this is a little story, as I said before, about a young man who can't speak for himself anymore. So I'm gonna talk for him. The story goes like this.
Welcome back to We Love Rare Grooves. That's Zac Harmon in the house. Everybody give Zac Harmon as we took you on that musical journey. I was surprised after we did the research that this just wasn't about the blues. This man is a singer, writer, arranger. He's sharing the stage tonight with his boy, Mr. Christopher Troy. You got to give it up for Mr. Christopher Troy.
Thank you, thank you.
As we do here on We Love Rare Grooves, as we closing out the show, DJ Reg, the consultant in the house, my boy Jimmy G. We want to thank our audience in the house. Vernell, my girl, thanks you for your support as we do here every Tuesday night, bringing you the music of the magic and the magic of the music. So, man, listening to this song and listening to you play, who would you think would be in your realm? There was a movie about this called The Top 5. Who would be your top 5 as far as blues artists and just bringing it?
Okay, blues artists in general.
Right, you can do two. You can do blues artists and then you can do your top 5 entertainers. You could do 10. How about that?
Well, what I want to do.
What you want to do?
Because, see, some of the people I might mention might not be with us anymore.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't
Okay.
matter. They
But
can
see,
be.
my number one guy is going to be Albert King.
Okay.
You know, I thought Albert King's the most original blues artist ever. I think 2, I'm going to have to go with John Lee Hooker.
Okay. That's what we're listening to now, right?
And Bonnie.
And 3, I'm going to go with B.B. King.
Okay.
There you go.
4, I'm going to go with Little Milton.
Little Milton. They don't call him Little for...
And 5, I'm going to go, and this might throw everybody for a loop, but I'm going to go with Albert Collins.
Albert Collins, right? Sound like Price is Right. I'm just saying. Albert Collins. And how about give me one female?
Oh my God, I have to say, the females, because I got a lot of them that I like, So I'm gonna. Let me give you 3.
Give me 3.
I'm gonna say Denise LaSalle. That's like my
Okay.
number 1.
Okay.
Betty Wright is like my
Okay.
number 2, and Millie Jackson is my number 3.
Millie Jackson. We gotta get Millie on the show. Yeah, Millie down in Atlanta. Someone said so. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, you got 5. You can just run it off as we close out. You got 5. I'm gonna let you go at 5.
Well,
Just name
I
5.
wouldn't be a keyboard player unless it was Stevie Wonder.
Okay. Counting
you gotta
down.
give Stevie some love.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Keep counting.
Now, this is going to throw you for a loop, but there's a very good reason I'm going to name Elton John.
Okay.
Because Elton's first producer was a black producer named Caleb Quay. And
Did not know
as
that.
a 5-year-old boy, my aunt was a hippie, and she had Elton John records. And I looked at the back of the cover, and I saw this brother with this big afro. And I liked the music, and I said, if he can do that music, I can too.
Okay.
And the cool thing was, 40 years later, Zac and I were working with Caleb on Zac's new album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a
Caleb
guest.
Quay is featured
Okay.
on our new album with Zac Harmon. So I'm very proud of
All
that.
right, you got Countdown. You got 3 more. Run it out. We closing
3
out.
more. I got to name Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Okay.
I got to name my boys that I'm with now, Morris Day and the Time.
Okay.
Hey. All
There
right.
we go. Was that 5?
One more.
Okay. All right, I'm going to throw it to a female. Minnie Riperton.
Okay. There you go. There we go. Here we Love Rare Grooves, giving out that 5, that top 5. So as we do here every Monday night, we like to give love to our guests to come on the show. So this is something that we cherish to give to our guests to come on the show, to show them love, give them the flowers while they're here, and to appreciate them taking the time to come on the show. So from Shantini, who's not here with us tonight, DJ Raj, the consultant, and Jimmy G and myself, we want to give you the We Love Rare Grooves Award for you.
Hey! It's a hot mic.
Hot mic. There you go. Hot mic, man. Put that on there. I know you got numerous awards all around the home, but at least put this with the rest of them. We want to thank you so much.
Don't
man,
hide it.
for being
Don't hide
part
it.
of the
Thank
Groove-
you, man.
Part of the Groove family now, man.
Thank you.
As we do every Tuesday night, we are bringing you the music, the stories behind the music, the artists, and even sometimes we might bring you a nice little jam session. So we'll be doing that. When you come back, you coming back.
Yes, sir.
So when you come back with the release of the new CD, is that what it's called now? CD?
Or vinyl. You know,
Vinyl, because you might have some vinyl.
No,
right?
we're doing both.
You're going to do both? So bring the vinyl with you. Christopher?
I will be there with Zac.
You
Yeah.
So we're gonna party next time.
Absolutely.
We don't even have to talk about the music. We're gonna play the music.
I'm gonna light that piano up.
Oh,
got
you
a
gonna light it
beautiful
up?
grand here? Yeah.
We're gonna light it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna light
So
it
that's
up.
coming back. We're gonna come back in the fall and light it up. Jam session. They said when is he playing? Somebody in the audience is like, when is Zac playing? He playing when he come back here. All right, we got that here on We Love Rare Grooves. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We want to thank our sponsors, Bell Navis Wine and Spirits. Did you enjoy your Bell Navis tonight, Robert A? Okay, you enjoy it?
Absolutely.
That's all you got to say. Is it's empty?
Yeah,
You want more, huh?
yes,
You want more? We want to.
And listen, and I'm past the French. I'm a connoisseur. Okay, you rest of y'all just drinking wine.
Right.
I'm a
Bell Navis
connoisseur.
Wine and Spirits. That's right. Go to bellnavis.com. Also, we want to thank Retirement Choices of California, JP. Retirement Choices now. It's a choice that you have for your retirement. He'll take care of you, JP. That's right, Jerron, JP Hamlet. Also, we want to thank Oxnard Jazz Festival coming up September 13th to 15th. Get your tickets today. And Loose Ends will be there, but they also, at the end of the month, will be in Atlanta. My girl, Lynn Adams King, also with Brick Dreams Productions, bringing them there. It's going to be a great time, a great party in Atlanta, May 30th. That's right, at the Essence event in Atlanta, Georgia. So next week we'll be coming back with another great show, another great guest. Look at all of our social media pages from Facebook, We Groove Entertainment, We Love Rare Grooves, IG, Twitter, and also our YouTube channel. Please subscribe today, join the show, and we'll be coming up towards some 10-year products. They're on the works now. So we'll have some T-shirts, some hats, some pins. So they're working on that now. So come out and join us. I think we'll be doing a great jam session for the month of June, too, for Black Music Month. So stay tuned to We Love Rare Grooves. So we want to thank the Tiny Room Studio, my man Corey there, the addition now, Kevy Kev, thank you very much here.
Thank
Greg,
you,
thank
crew.
you so much for supporting us here. Tiny Room Studios in Inglewood for your recording. Come on out. So
Rehearsal
again,
hall, rehearsals, all that.
so we'll see you next week. That's right, DJ Reg. Anytime you need a DJ Reg is in the house. The
catch me
consultant
on-
Robert A.
catch me
and
on
Zac,
Twitch.
where can we keep in touch with you? Website, all your social media, and what you got coming up soon.
Right. You can go to www.zacharmon.com. You'll find everything there. You'll find where I'm playing, when I'm playing. There'll be a lot of interesting things going on this summer, so just stay tuned.
All right, that's right. Hey, we did a show together. Was coming up July 26th in Tallahassee, Florida. That's right.
Absolutely,
The Funk and
absolutely.
Blues Festival.
Absolutely.
So we got you on there with Loose Ends again. And
Hey, man, it's gonna be a low down, throwdown, man.
right, Climax. So that's in Tallahassee, Florida. That's out there. We Groove Entertainment. We do it, don't we, baby? So again, thank you everyone for supporting us for 10 years, celebrating 10 years here on
We
Love Rare Grooves.
Dabba-dabba-doo.
That's right.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Stay tuned. The next Groove Channel.